Welcome to Mako Lava. Today, we are diving into the darkest corners of science, where real-life experiments blurred the line between research and nightmare. Number 1. The Russian sleep experiment alleged. This experiment is often dismissed as an urban legend, but its core concept is terrifying. In the late 1940s, Soviet researchers allegedly locked 5 prisoners in a sealed chamber, exposing them to an experimental gas that was supposed to eliminate sleep. They observed the subjects through small windows and recorded disturbing changes. At first, the prisoners talked and whispered. Then their speech turned into frantic screams. By the second week, silence took over. When scientists finally entered the chamber, they found the test subjects in an unimaginable state, self-inflicted wounds, missing body parts, and an obsession with staying awake. One of them allegedly said, "We are the madness that lives inside you." While no official records confirm this experiment, it eerily resembles real sleep deprivation studies that have caused hallucinations and paranoia. Number 2. The Stanford Prison Experiment 1971. This was not a horror movie plot, it actually happened. Psychologist Philip Zimbardo conducted a study at Stanford University to examine how power affects human behavior. Volunteers were randomly assigned roles as prisoners or guards in a simulated prison environment. Within days, the experiment spiraled into psychological torture. The guards became disturbingly sadistic, humiliating and dehumanizing the prisoners. The participants fully embraced their roles, with some prisoners suffering emotional breakdowns. The situation became so extreme that the study, initially planned for 2 weeks, was shut down in just 6 days. The Stanford Prison Experiment exposed how quickly ordinary people can descend into cruelty, mirroring the horrors of real-life authoritarian regimens. Number 3. Unit 731, 1930s-1940s. If there was ever a real-life version of a horror movie, Japan's Unit 731 was it. During World War II, the Imperial Japanese Army ran a secret biological and chemical warfare research facility under the leadership of Shurishi. Prisoners, many of them Chinese, Russian, and even Allied, were subjected to nightmarish experiments. Victims were dissected alive without anesthesia. They were deliberately infected with diseases like the plague and then studied as they deteriorated. Some were frozen and thawed to test how the human body responds to extreme temperatures. Others were tied to stakes and bombarded with biological weapons. The most horrifying part, many of the scientists involved were never punished. Some even went on to have successful medical careers. The United States allegedly granted them immunity in exchange for their research. These experiments may sound like horror fiction, but they happened in real life. They reveal the darkest capabilities of the human mind when morality is abandoned for science.